The escape pod had crashed 3 hours ago, leaving a smoking crater in the purple sand of Kepler 442b. John wiped the sweat from his brow as he approached the wreckage, his medical kit bouncing against his hip. As a field medic stationed on this remote mining outpost, he'd seen plenty of accidents, but never anything that fell from the sky. What he found inside made his breath catch. She was massive, nearly 7 feet tall, even while slumped against the pod's interior. Crimson scales covered her arms and neck, glinting like rubies in the dim light. Her face was humanoid but distinctly alien, with golden eyes that flickered with pain. Horns curved back from her temples, and when she breathed, wisps of smoke escaped her nostrils. Blood, bright blue blood, seeped from a deep gash across her abdomen. "Easy," John said, raising his hands. "I'm a medic. I'm here to help." The dragon woman's eyes focused on him with difficulty. Her hand moved towards something at her belt, but she was too weak. Instead, she spoke in a voice like grinding stones. "Human, leave me. Dangerous." "Not happening," John replied, already unpacking his kit. "You'll bleed out in minutes if I don't treat that wound." He'd never worked on a non-human before. The mining colony rarely saw aliens, and when they did, they certainly weren't injured. But anatomy was anatomy, and bleeding was bleeding. John pressed gauze against the wound, noting how the blood shimmered with an almost luminescent quality. "This might sting," he warned, preparing a coagulant spray. The woman, he decided to think of her as Elsa. The name stitched on her torn flight suit. Tensed, but didn't cry out as the foam expanded into the wound. As he worked, John noticed details that made him increasingly uneasy. The armor fragments scattered around her weren't standard issue anything. They bore marks he'd only seen in history vids, the crest of the Draconian Imperium, the most feared military force in 3 galaxies. And those weapons at her belt? They looked like they could level a city block. "You're military," John said, threading a needle with synthetic sutures. "Pretty high-ranking, too, I'm guessing." Elsa's golden eyes watched him with an intensity that made his hands tremble slightly. "You should fear me." "I should fear a lot of things," John replied, beginning to stitch. "Doesn't mean I will. Besides, you're in no condition to be threatening anyone right now." A sound that might have been a laugh or a cough escaped her lips. "Foolish, brave, human." The wound was worse than John initially thought. Whatever had hit her had been designed to kill Draconians specifically. The edges showed signs of molecular disruption. He worked methodically, cleaning, sealing, and bandaging. His hands moved with practiced efficiency, even as his mind raced with questions. Who was hunting her? Why had she crashed here? And why did someone who could clearly afford the best medical technology in the galaxy need help from a mining colony medic? "There," John said finally, tying off the last bandage. "That should hold until we can get you to a proper medical facility. Can you walk?" Elsa tested her limbs, and John saw surprise flicker across her reptilian features. "You sealed it properly." "That's generally the idea with wounds," John said dryly. "Come on, my clinic isn't far. You need fluids and rest." "No." Elsa's voice was stronger now, commanding. "They will track me, the Void Syndicate. They will destroy your colony to kill me." John felt ice in his stomach. The Void Syndicate, pirates, slavers, and murderers who terrorized the Outer Rim. "Then we need to get you somewhere safe and call for help. Who should I contact? Your unit? Command?" Elsa's expression was unreadable. "You do not understand, human. I am the Crimson Worm, commander of the 3rd Imperial Fleet. I have conquered 17 star systems. I have burned entire worlds." She paused, her golden eyes boring into his. "And you bandaged me like a wounded animal. Without hesitation." The words hit John like a physical blow. The Crimson Worm. He'd heard the stories. Everyone had. the dragon warrior who had single-handedly destroyed the Andromeda Rebellion, the general who'd made entire species surrender at the mere mention of her name, the galaxy's most feared warrior, and he'd just told her to walk it off. "Oh," John said faintly. Then, because he was apparently committed to poor life choices, "Well, even the galaxy's most powerful warrior needs medical attention. Should have led with that, by the way. Very relevant information." For the first time, Elsa truly smiled, a terrifying display of sharp teeth that should have sent him running. Instead, John found himself relaxing slightly. "Your species is insane," she said, but there was something almost like respect in her voice. "Any other being would have fled or tried to capture me for ransom. I'm a medic," John shrugged. "We don't really do the fleeing thing, and ransom seems like a terrible retirement plan." He offered his hand. "Come on, Commander. Let's get you hidden before your friends arrive." Elsa stared at his outstretched hand for a long moment. Then, with movements that were becoming steadier by the second, she took it. Her grip was gentle despite her obvious strength, controlled, precise. "You saved the Crimson Worm's life today, John Human," she said as he helped her stand. "This will not be forgotten." "Just doing my job," John replied, already mentally cataloging which of the abandoned mining tunnels would make the best hiding spot. "Though, if you could maybe not mention this to your syndicate friends when they show up, that'd be great. I'm quite fond of my colony not being vaporized." They made their way across the purple sand, an absurd pair, the galaxy's greatest warrior leaning on a mining colony medic who'd treated her like any other patient. Behind them, the sky began to darken with incoming ships. John didn't know what would happen next, but as he glanced at Elsa, seeing her straighten with each step, regaining the bearing of a commander who'd conquered star systems, he made a decision. He wasn't going to let them take her. Sometimes humanity's greatest strength wasn't firepower or technology. Sometimes it was simply refusing to abandon someone who needed help, even if that someone could probably destroy his entire planet with one hand. Especially then.